I'm just gonna start recording mid-class. Wow, I sure love this book. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with it, and everyone loves it equally because the world's a great place, isn't it? No, wait, no, 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 no!
Oh my God!
Why? Why?
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Hey, did you know that some of the most popular books are banned in a bunch of places? For example, they can't be here. Let's talk about how books are getting banned and why it, sucks. First of all, you might hear two kinds of terminology: challenging and banning books. So what's the difference? Challenging a book is attempting to get it removed from libraries and curriculums. It's not just people waving their pitchforks and saying, ew. A lot of these challenges get denied because the last thing schools and librarians want to do is restrict people's access to their books. Why do people want to ban stuff? Most of the time, it's because people don't want their kids or any kids to read about certain things. John Stuart Mill, philosopher and political economist, claims, "If all mankind minus one were of one opinion, and only one person were of the contrary opinion, mankind would be no more justified in silencing that one person than he, if he had the power, would be justified in silencing mankind." Basically, he's trying to say if everyone on Earth agreed about something, but this one guy didn't, it's just as bad to silence him as it is to silence everyone on Earth, and people should be exposed to the thought of people disagreeing with them over something in order to show them the real world. So who's banning them, or wanting to at least? Here's a chart of the most common people who are trying to ban or challenge books. As you can see, it's mainly parents and patrons, but let's focus on the fact that it's mostly parents. This honestly makes a lot of sense because, you don't want kids to see certain stuff and whatever. But this is where my stance on this comes in. I don't think it is the library's responsibility to be aware of what their kids that come in are reading, or at least people that go to the library. I think it's the parents' job to know what their kids are reading and be aware of it and talk to them if they don't think it's okay. And then another chart that I found interesting was this one: reasons for challenges, showing all of the biggest keywords as to why books get banned. Now, this, without context, is kind of funny, but some of the things on here kind of make sense. You know, obscene, sexually explicit, profanity, stuff like that. I get why people wouldn't want to see that. But I do notice that some of these contradict each other. Like, one of the biggest ones up there is LGBTQIA, and then a really small one there is homophobia and transphobia, which kind of sucks actually, that this is the bigger issue than this on this chart. But another thing is critical race theory and racist content, which I could be wrong, but I believe those are contradictory. A couple of the terms up there involve pushing some kind of agenda, which is kind of funny because the people who are saying don't push this agenda are probably pushing their agenda in the process. But we're not here to get too political. But my thoughts for this chart specifically is, if we start censoring these topics today, how will people ever be able to accept their differences and just be okay with the people around them? Like that guy said earlier, I don't think it's okay to just silence people because you don't agree. And then there's one more chart, this one, where challenges take place. Of course, libraries, probably the most common, but mostly, again, school libraries. And this is why I think the main issue is in parenting. Because I don't think the whole world should stop reading a book because it's not made for kids. You know? I don't think 9-year-old Timmy needs to read The Hunger Games. But I guess it does kind of make sense that parents and school stuff, all the main thing here, parents don't want their kids to be reading this stuff. And I get it. But that, I don't think, is the book or the library's fault. I think the parents just need to be more aware. Another thing I found that was super interesting was that in 2022, there was an absolute record high for the amount of book challenges that got sent through to the ALA. The ALA being the organization that deals with all this in simple terms. 1,200 challenges were done in 2022. That's almost double the previous record, which was in 2021. That makes me wonder what's gonna happen this year. I bet it's probably gonna be even higher somehow. There's been a few bills passed or proposed in states like Arizona, Iowa, Texas, Missouri, and Oklahoma to try and get some certain books removed from libraries. In Florida, the governor has approved laws to review reading materials and limit classroom discussion of gender identity and race. Oh, great. This is back to that point I made earlier. I don't think not talking about things is gonna make it go away or to improve any generations. It's like gay people aren't gonna disappear if you stop writing about them. And also, it's something that's just a part of life, I guess. All of these political issues are gonna be around for a really long time. So I don't see the point in just pretending like it doesn't exist and covering our children's ears and going, no, read about happiness and rainbows. And, well, not rainbows, that'd be gay. I think this is just something people should be aware of, also because this could spiral into a much worse political issue. Right now, parents might just be like, I don't want my kids to read about political stuff, or some parents, I don't want my kids reading about political stuff that I don't agree with, all that. But this could turn into just a bunch of bad things happening for minority groups. That's why I think people should be aware of it, even if you don't read that much, which, believe me, I don't even really read that much. But this is something people should be aware about because it could probably get a lot worse from here. Now, I'm not saying you personally need to go out and do anything about it because you don't have to, and you probably don't want to. This stuff sucks. But I guess just educate yourself and just know to not be a horrible person. Bye.